Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly for pricing. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for pricing on this watch. Today we are discussing a stainless steel 500-piece limited edition launched in 2014. This is reference 5023-08 IWC Portugieser Perpetual calendar. The watch measures 44.2 millimeters in diameter by 15.9 millimeters thick by 52.9 millimeters from lug tip to lug tip with a 22 millimeter spacing between the lugs. When you throw it on the wrist, my wrist is 16 centimeters in circumference. It wears well, but I do think you need a wrist of at least 15 centimeters circumference, preferably 16 like mine, to wear this watch, as it is broad and it is thick. It has a commanding presence, but on a smaller wrist, it could seem a bit out of proportion. Taking a look at the hardware and the software, we have a strap of large rectangular scale alligator leather, matte finish, thick bolstering to give it volume. We have a sheer cut edge showing the thickness of the leather used, monotone black stitch on the top as well as the bottom, and we have conventional black calfskin on the bottom. Take note, it is a brand new IWC factory strap, neither crimped nor gouged, and that on both sides. The watch includes a beautifully satinated and polished single fold steel deployant clasp, and that helps to protect against dropping your watch while you are donning it or removing it. The watch has beautiful integrated lugs, and you can see that the lugs are fairly narrow and tapered with polished tops, satin flanks. The case back as well as the bezel are actually concave and polished. Each one has a little vertical lip where it abuts the mid-case, and then it is concave and sweeps back. The watch also includes a crown, IWC logo, and Probus Scafusia, the motto of the company. A good solid watch is made in Schaffhausen. The bezel is minimal, and the dial is packed, but it's also handsomely symmetrical and well laid out. So we have a sort of cruciform symmetry where you can almost split the watch side to side and then top to bottom, and it echoes itself in terms of design. We have coaxial registers at 9 o'clock and 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock shows the 7-day power reserve indicator with the red hand, and then the polished hand indicates the radial date. We have running seconds as well as the day of the week over at 9 o'clock. We have the month, we have a moon phase, we have the year, the decade, the century, and the millennium. And everything up to the decade is actually geared to the movement and will change automatically. Whereas if you need to change the century, there's a little adjustability built in there, so you can move up to 21, 22, and then there's a separate slide that will let you deal with centuries beyond 20, 21, and 22. You actually get 23 and beyond. So you have the ability in the long run to make that adjustment when the watch goes back to your watchmaker. So the way this works is that the perpetual calendar does not need to be reset for irregular length months or leap years. It can work through that up until the year 2100. Now there is a quick set system, and note when I set the date, I'm also setting the day, and I'm also setting the moon phase, and in time I will eventually jump the month, and I will jump the year and the decade. And it's mechanically programmed, including the correct moon phase, so you never need to go check the current stage of the moon and individually set the registers. If you pull the crown out all the way, note the constant seconds hand stops, it has a hacking seconds function. The dial is an opaline, very subtly satin-grained silver white with sunken registers. There's a railroad track outboard for reading the minutes. We have polished leaf-style hands, as well as small indices outboard of the hours, and then Art Deco-style Arabic numerals. The design of the dial, the case, the hands, the font, all of that harks back to the original 1939 reference 325 Portugieser, which was an oversized wristwatch built with a pocket watch movement. And we still have something approaching a pocket watch sized movement here. This movement is over 37 millimeters in diameter. It is the 51613 automatic. It has a yellow gold medallion, again with Probus Scafusia, the motto, inset. Automatic winding. It has a 7-day power reserve. It uses ceramic pawls against a pawl wheel. That is the Albert Peloton designed IWC Peloton winding system, first introduced in the early 50s, bidirectional, highly shock tolerant, and very efficient. It's adjusted in 5 positions like a high horology watch or chronometer. It pivots on 62 joules, and the movement includes the stop seconds function as well as the quick set, the perpetual calendar, and the power reserve indicator that I mentioned earlier. The balance beats away at 21,600 vibrations per hour. It has an overcoil hairspring to help it keep very even time in any physical position, and it's free sprung for more precise adjustment as well as greater timing stability in the face of shock and concussion. The movement features a combination of manual and machine finishing and some nods to antiquity, including that little golden chaton holding the pivot for the escape wheel. The watch includes a set of satinations across the wheels. We have circular Cote de Genève across the bridges, engine turning on the base plate, and then all the screw heads are black polished. It is a good looking movement. All this is water resistant down to 30 meters, so dress watch water resistance. And again, a 7-day automatic winding power reserve. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.